Yo, what is up, guys? It is CR back with another video. In today's video, we're actually going to be talking about 5 photography tips for beginners. Let's jump into it. So it is currently 2020, and a lot of people nowadays are starting to take much better quality photos than what you would have saw a few years ago. And I really think that the main reason for that is just with how well mobile smartphones have gotten, and more specifically the camera on these phones. Like literally, you can just go back a few years ago and tell the difference between what was taken on a pro level DSLR and what was taken on maybe like a mobile phone, an iPhone, or something like that. But now that bridge is getting smaller and smaller. Like literally, if I was to show a random person out on the street just what was taken on a pro level camera and what was taken on modern smartphone cameras nowadays, they probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference, if we're both being honest here. Like, come on, let's be for real. But if you are feeling confident and you're up to a challenge today, here are 2 photos. One of them was taken on my DSLR and the other one was taken on my iPhone XS Max. Tell me which photo was taken on which device. Photo A was taken on my iPhone XS Max and photo B was taken on my Canon EOS Rebel T3i. Did you get it correct? Let me know in the comments below. But now, let's move on to the first tip. The first tip I kind of feel like every photographer or every beginning photographer has ran into, and it is actually shooting their camera in live view mode. Live view mode is basically a feature that allows you to preview in real time what the camera is seeing whenever you're taking your pictures. But now when you are outside and it's a really bright day, you shouldn't have a problem. But if you are going to be inside in a building taking pictures, a basketball game, or anything like that, I would just recommend to look through the viewfinder. Basically, all it comes down to is just the image being blurry or not. So make sure to look through the viewfinder if you are doing some sort of fast photography movement type of camera action. You get what I mean.
And something that I forgot to mention about using live view is that whenever you are using it, it tends to drain your batteries much faster since the display is always on previewing what the camera is seeing. So that is just something else that you should know.
Okay, moving on to tip number 2, something that I cannot stress enough, and I mean this, is to always bring extra memory cards and batteries for your camera. The first thing that I always do whenever I'm going out and I'm leaving to go take pictures or anything is to grab all my SD cards and put them in this little zipper in front of my DSLR backpack, and it basically contains all my SD card readers for my laptop, extra SD cards, and basically they all just stay in this pocket. And as well as also the camera batteries too. Everything as far as accessories, camera batteries, SD cards, I must have before I leave.
Something that you can also try doing is putting your car keys or something that you can physically not leave without, like I said, your car keys, next to your SD cards or your batteries, so that way you never forget them and you're always good. Pro tip.
I can tell you personally that I have went out thinking that I had everything that I need and I forgot the SD card or an extra battery, and it just kills me because you feel so defeated. Now my third tip for beginners is pretty basic, and it's something that you should probably already have if we're being honest, but just in case you don't, it is actually to invest in a tripod. Now it doesn't have to be the most fanciest tripod in the world. All it pretty much needs to do is just hold your camera still in place and you're pretty much good. And this one actually I think costs 20 bucks, so they're relatively inexpensive, so it's just something to make your life a little bit more easier. And I know you probably think you can just hold the camera very still and your pictures will come out fine, but trust me, in some circumstances you're just gonna wish you had a tripod. It'll make your life so much more easier. So it's better just to get a tripod and just save yourself the time. Moving on to my fourth tip, it is actually to download a photo editing software, something maybe like Adobe Lightroom. I personally use that, but you don't have to. But basically these photo editors allow you to edit your photo and give it your own custom look. If you've ever seen a really good looking picture on Instagram or a really nice wallpaper, there's a really good chance that it has probably been ran through some sort of photo editor to give it that custom unique look that makes it stand out and pop. Moving on to the fifth and final tip of the day, it is actually knowing the difference between RAW photos and JPEG photos. JPEG photos are naturally going to be more condensed file sizes that store less information than RAW photos do. And the benefit of shooting in RAW is that whenever you go and edit your photos in whatever photo editor that you're using, you're going to have a lot more information to work with whenever color grading and changing and customizing the white balance. And basically it just gives you a lot more flexibility in post rather than JPEG photos that don't have nearly as much information and everything that's already kind of set to the way it is. Just so you guys can get a good idea of what I mean by how big these RAW files actually are compared to JPEG images, I pulled up the two images that I showed you guys earlier, the one from my Canon EOS Rebel T3i and the other one from my iPhone XS Max. So as you guys can see, this one was shot on my iPhone and this one is 3 megabytes. This is the JPEG file. This one is the Canon CR2 file, the raw image, and this one is 21.9 megabytes. That's a night and day difference as far as information being stored in the overall size and quality of the image. So this one was taken on my iPhone. Not bad, but it's just, you can't beat just the overall color and contrast that comes from the Canon sensor from the T3i. And as you guys can see, that's quite a difference. And just to sum it all up, RAW photos, more information, more to work with when editing. JPEG photos, not nearly as much, but they are storage savers. So you got to pick and choose your battles. This last thing that I have to say isn't even a tip, it's just facts. No matter what camera you have, whether it's a DSLR or whether it's a point and shoot camera or just anything like that, whether it's a phone or anything, if you have some type of camera that can shoot manual, please shoot it in manual every now and then. The greatest photographers in the world or videographers, they did not get to where they're at by only shooting on autofocus or auto this all the time. Shoot in manual. But that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned because the next video is right around the corner. If you guys want to see more top 5 whatever videos, let me know down in the comments below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. And you're pretty much good to go. I just wouldn't recommend you sit it on anything